In this video, we are going to be learning about chain rule. So this is part 2 of my chain rule video. You can watch part 1 to get an easier understanding of this, but now we're going to be diving into some of the more harder chain rule questions. So let's get started. First, let's do what is the derivative of the square root of 5x squared plus 2x minus 6. So pause the video and find the derivative. Okay, hopefully you've unpaused the video and you found out the answer. So let's get started. First, we let y equal to 5x squared plus 2x minus 6. And this is raised to the power of 1/2. This is because the square root of a is equal to a squared, and the cube root of a is a cubed. Hence, the exponential rule for any roots. Okay, now we have to apply the derivative. So if you remember from before, the chain rule is just the derivative of the outside multiplied by the derivative of the inside. So if we apply the power rule to this, we'd get our first term being 1/2 multiplied by 5x squared plus 2x minus 6. And then the power rule, so that since the power rule says nx to the power of n minus 1, it would be 1/2 minus 1. So 1/2 minus 1 is negative 1/2. And now you have to multiply it by the derivative of the inside. So the derivative of the inside is this. Wait. It's this. That's the derivative of the inside. So if we multiply it, this is just derivative of each term. So the derivative of 5x squared is 10x plus 2. So yeah, that's the derivative, and now we simplify. Simplifying our equation, we'd get, so you need to write y prime. So y prime, or not prime, I think they call it prime, but y prime, you'd make it equal to, the denominator would be, since this is negative, this goes down to the denominator, so that'd be the square root of 5x squared plus 2x minus 6, and the numerator is 5x plus 1. And that's the derivative. Okay, hopefully you got that question correct, so let's move on to the next question. What is the derivative of 1/2x minus 5 cubed? Okay, so pause the video and try and find the derivative of 1/2x minus 5 cubed. Okay, hopefully you've unpaused the video by now and you've solved the question, so let's get started. So, first what we need to do is to use the exponential rule from before. So since this 3 is on the bottom, we have to make it go to the top. So then y would equal 2x minus 5 to the power of negative 3. And now we apply the chain rule. So the derivative of the outside would be negative 3 times 2x minus 5 to the power of negative 3 minus 1, so negative 4. And now the derivative of the inside, so that's multiplied by 2. And so y prime equals negative 6 times 2x minus 5 to the power of negative 4. And in the end, our answer is going to be 2x minus 5 to the power of 4, and this is 6. So negative 6 over 2x minus 5 to the power of 4, and that is our answer. Okay. On to the next question. So this is where it gets hard. Now you have multiple layers of chain rule. I'm going to drag this chart down so it's easier for us to remember. Okay. So what is the derivative of sine of 2x squared plus 5 over 5, cubed? So solve that. Okay, hopefully you've unpaused the video, and let's get started. So since this is chain rule, since there's multiple layers of chain rule, you have to keep on taking the derivative of each term. So I'll show you what I mean by that. First, we have to take the derivative of the outside. So we have to apply the power rule. That would mean the derivative for our first term would be if we differentiate it, so we move this to the front, 3 times sine 2x squared plus 5 and this is to the power of 3 minus 1, so this is 2. And now we have to differentiate. Remember, it's the outside term multiplied by the inside term. The derivatives of those. So now we had to find the derivative of this. So if you're getting what I meant earlier, now we just had to find the derivative of the inside. Okay, so the derivative of the inside is just like the questions from before. So multiple layers, you just have to keep on working from outside in. So multiplying that, if we find this, the derivative of sine is cos. So the derivative is going to be multiplying by cosine of 2x squared plus 5x multiplied by, and now the derivative of this term. And multiplied by 4x. Now, if we multiply everything together, we'd get y equals 12x times sine squared of 2x squared plus 5 times cos of 2x squared plus 5. And this is our answer. Okay, so let's work on another question, just like this. So, what can we do? I just thought of this one. What is the derivative of Okay, so pause the video and find that derivative. Okay, so hopefully you've unpaused the video by now, and now we can start to solve. Okay, so as before, work from outside in. So, the outside is cos, right? So then the derivative of cos is negative sine x. So we start off with negative sine. Oh, first we have to do chain rule. So that means it'd actually be negative wait. Oh. Okay, so I accidentally forgot that we had to apply the power rule. So we had to apply the power rule first. So if we apply the power rule, we get 4 times cos of 4x cubed minus x. And this is to the power of n minus 1, so 4 minus 1 is 3. And now we multiply it by the derivative of this. So that'd be multiplied by negative sine of 4x cubed minus x. And then multiplied by the derivative of this. So that'd be 12x squared minus 1. And I'll show how you simplify this. So this would turn to 4 times cos I forgot to close the back bracket. And this is our answer. Okay, on to the next question. Okay, so what is the derivative of let's see. Tangent, and then what comes inside to be 2x squared minus 7, let's say to the power of 5. Okay, so pause the video and solve for that question. Okay, so as always, work outside in. So you have to apply the the power rule. So then that would be 5, right, 5, oh yeah, tangent 2x squared minus 7 to the power of 5. Oh no, and minus 1, so it's 4. And then the derivative of this term and now for the derivative of this term. And now if we multiply everything out, we should just get 20x tangent of, not to the power of 4 of 2x squared minus 7 of multiplied by secant squared of 2x squared minus 7. And this is your answer. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. So this one's going to be a bit harder, but what is the derivative of Okay. So yeah, that's the question. And if you don't know the rule for ln, that's fine. But the derivative of ln is, hang on, let me write this down. So the derivative of ln of u is equal to the derivative of u, so u prime over u. So yeah, pause the video and solve that question. Okay, hopefully you've unpaused. So yeah, now here we get started. Okay, so first things first, we have to apply the power rule. So the derivative is d over d of x is equal to 3 times ln of 7x 7x squared plus 3 to the power of so n minus 1, so 3 minus 1 is 2. Shoot, wait, why did I write this? And now we multiply it by the derivative of this, so the inside term. So I'm probably going to do a separate thing for this. So the derivative of 7x squared plus 3. Sorry, it's ln. Okay, so from our formula from before, the derivative is basically u prime over u. So what is the derivative of 7x squared plus 3? So we obviously know that's going to be 14x. And now that's over the normal term, which is 7x squared plus 3. Okay, so in that we did another question basically. So that's multiplied by 14x over 7x squared plus 3. Okay, now that we have that, we can we can start solving. Okay. Oh, so here's why I was confused. The thing is, from derivatives, like before, you'd think you have a chain rule like this, right? So then you had to multiply it by 7x, the derivative of 7x squared plus 3. So, but for ln, you don't need to do that. So ln just does the entire thing for you. So that's why in this case, we didn't need to do that. That's why I was like contemplating, like maybe I did this wrong. But no, that's actually how you do it. So if you multiply everything together and the end, you should get 3 ln of 7x squared plus 3 squared multiplied by 1 over 7x squared plus 3 . So yeah, that is our answer. And that is part 2. And for part 3, that is going to be really, really hard derivatives. So I divided it up into 5 levels. So just to give you guys a glimpse of the next video, this is going to be question 13. Sine of cos of 2x cubed. So yeah, that is going to be one of the questions of the next video. Thank you for watching and goodbye.